good evening and welcome, friends. We are back with Wrong Side of the Wall. This is Season 3, One Last March. I'm very, very excited. Tonight's episode, the first episode of Season 3, is entitled The Man in the Cave. So we'll learn all about that in a moment. Very excited to meet all of your characters for this season and a returning character in Rick Corner. So, and yes, I've prepped myself for the infinite jokes about the month. It's not that kind of March, but I'm ready for it. So, get them out of your system.
It's only January.
So, yeah, it's only January. Yep. Get that out of your system. And the system we are using for this season is Dungeon World, which is sort of D&D meets Power by the Apocalypse, two systems that we are very familiar with. And enough about that for now. We will cast our gaze into the theater of our minds as I set the scene for you. Imagine the camera is slowly zooming in from a bird's eye view. Before the camera zooms in a bird's eye view, I have an intro to play, so let's do that. It's been a while. But here's our intro for Season 3 of Wrong Side of the Wall. Yeah! A fire needs 3 things. Heat, something to combust, and oxygen. In other words, it needs something to start it, and something to keep it going. The world we cast our gaze at tonight is a world on fire. Hate, fear, and ignorance were enough to spark a flame, and the cruel mages that manipulate its populace were enough to keep it going. Now, entire continents wage unending war, many no longer knowing why they fight. A battalion of witch hunters, disgraced soldiers given the terrible task of hunting rogue mages, find themselves behind enemy lines and about to enter a conflict too grand to imagine. But first, a select few will make a discovery. Rick Corner, the Man of Stone. In a world of beasts and mystical arts, Rick finds himself in a truly fantastical place. But fantasy will become nightmare. The end begins here, on a gloomy mountainside, on the wrong side of the wall. Okay, there we go. One Last March begins, Season 3. With that in mind, you can tell it's going to be a happy, fun family tale.
Yeah, it's going to be your most joyous one yet.
That's right.
We're actually the middle side of the wall where we're inside it.
Ooh, perfect for Rick.
Oh, God. Please, not the inside of the wall again. Please, Nathaniel.
Don't send me back there.
Promise, you never left.
Sometimes you never leave.
There's 2
So
walls.
now, if you can imagine in the theater of your mind, we are bird's eye view over a sort of a valley in between 2 very large sort of mountain peaks. So if you were really zoomed out, this would be sort of like a Rocky Mountain scenario. You got sort of a long mountain range dotted with sort of low valleys and more little hills. Miles and miles in various directions. Maybe you see little settlements or whatever, people carving out lives in cave networks or whatever. But for the most part, this is barren and uninhabitable, unless you're, a mountain goat or something. But as we zoom in onto one particular valley in between 2 high mountain peaks, we start to make out the images of a few figures. And eventually we find ourselves staring, again, from a bird's eye view, at a medieval battalion, about 2,000 men. They have made sort of a temporary camp in this large valley. They've set up patrols on the outer ridge. They got a little makeshift stable for the horses. They've set up tents. And those lucky enough to be in the tents are great. Otherwise, they sleep on the ground. And 2,000 men sounds pretty impressive until you realize that the vast majority of the battalion are farm boys who have been drafted from their peasant villages in order to buffer out the kingdom soldiers. War has been going on a long time. And as the intro mentioned, there's lots of use signing up for a battle that they're not even sure what the point is. But For many of the countries and kingdoms in this continent, it's all they've ever known. But a few that maybe can call themselves knights or lords, none of them are here by choice. Or if they are here, it was not a choice they would have made lightly. This is a witch hunter battalion, which sounds glamorous on paper until you realize that the job of the battalion is for regular people with spears and swords to hunt magic users who can, boil people alive from 1,000 miles away. Not the most glamorous way to die. And thus, what was once a volunteer-only unit has become made out of mostly disgraced soldiers and knights who have done something to piss off someone above them, or for some reason they're considered expendable. Maybe they're from a neighboring kingdom that got it next and better than us. Or maybe they were in a good position at one point and they pissed off someone's father or punched the wrong noble and now they're here. But however these knights ended up here, this was this is a bottom run kind of job. Maybe some of them revel in it. Maybe some of them enjoy the sort of living on the edge of danger. But it's certainly a short flash in the pan kind of profession. And I mean that literally, in case the mage can use fire. So, life expectancy low. And as we continue to zoom in on the battalion, we zoom in onto the central tent. I say literally center. It's the tent that is set up in the center of the camp, where Sebastian Bruff, the battalion commander, is currently idling and watching his men from the comfort of his sheltered tent. But in a moment, his lieutenant, Godwin Glademir, is going to be walking in. And Christian, as we get our first glimpse of Godwin, would you be so kind as to give us a physical description?
Yes. Godwin he's a rail of a man. He's weak, he's meek looking, and yet he holds himself high, chest puffed out, long, light-colored hair flowing behind him. His features are sharp but not intimidating. His smile is always bared, basically. And he uses it as a weapon in conversation. Nice dark eyes to soothe the soul of whoever he's talking to. And his clothing, greens and blues, all worn out, all used clothing that he found, and yet on his chest, hanging from his neck, a nice bright glowing amulet, smoke trailing off of it. And he enters the tent.
Okay, well, as Godwin enters the tent is just got 3 people in it. 2 are in full armament off to either side. Obviously, just guards for the tent. As they start to lower their spears, and then as soon as they see your face, Godwin, they raise it back up and sort of back off to the side to try to make themselves inconspicuous. Sebastian, your commander, is currently sitting on like a little makeshift chair. It's basically just like cloth stretched across 2 like wooden
Boards.
sticks. Oars, yeah, perfect.
Boards.
All right, so you've sort of fashioned a little hammock out of that, so that's what you're sitting on as Godwin enters.
Commander.
Lieutenant Gladsmere, is it?
Gladesmere, yes.
Yes, whatever. Okay, our tactical situation is that we are behind enemy lines. We're greatly outnumbered and surrounded by our enemy. So
What a
failure
fantastic
is not an option.
Yes.
Is that, do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir.
In addition to that, I want to make sure that the lookouts are always on their toes. Okay, I don't want any slackers out there.
Yes, sir.
Now, I suspect that there's an orc settlement nearby. So I want you to take a few men with you, as few as possible, and scout out this settlement. And then report back to me in 2 days.
In 2 days' time, sir.
Yes, 2 days. I want to know what the enemy has in terms of resources, how many there are, and make sure that you don't lose anybody. We can't afford any casualties.
Sir, this information you have about the settlement, have you heard that there is perhaps a wizard amongst them? Some sort of...
I've heard rumors that there might be led by a shaman, but I other than the rumors I've heard, I don't have any concrete. That's what you're going to be doing. You're going to get me some intelligence and let me know what's going on.
Intelligence. Yes, absolutely. Now, who shall I bring?
Well, I'll leave the choice of the men up to you, but just bear in mind that I don't want anybody that's going to screw up this mission. Okay? So if you have to pick some experienced men to go with you, then do that.
Aye, sir. How many shall I bring?
As few as possible. I will try and limit it to at least 2 or 3.
Sir, shall I leave?
The smaller the party, the less likely you'll be spotted.
I see, sir. Then I shall leave tonight then.
Well, the time of departure is up to you. I might want to leave it till maybe just before dawn. Give yourself and your men a chance to rest up, but I'll leave that up to you.
Thank you, sir. This opportunity will not go unnoticed. I'm so very gracious. I truly appreciate it.
Maybe if you carry off this mission successfully, Lieutenant, I'll remember your name next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
One other thing, Lieutenant. I want the chef given 10 lashings. The meat was a bit tough tonight.
It will be done, sir.
Thank you, Lieutenant. That's all. You're dismissed.
And he backs out of the tent.
Okay, excellent. And that was really great. Thanks, Dad. Great to have Bob back with another cameo. Love it. So Godwin, you have been given your assignment to scout out the area, and I must ask you, given that your commander has asked you to only bring maybe 2 or 3 people with you, who's the first person that comes to mind?
My first thought would be to find Manny.
Okay. Then you can head in that direction. And Chris, tell me where Godwin might most easily find Manny.
Many is generally found wherever there's a difficult job to be done. Whenever something needs lifting or somebody needs disciplining or heads need to roll. The discipline of a army composed largely of levies and farm boys tends to have something lacking, and the commanders are not hesitant to enforce it at the edge of a blade. But of course, they don't like to soil their own hands. They have people like Many for that.
Many, my good friend,
Somebody on the show.
my dear friend.
Godvin, what is it this time? You still haven't paid me back your last loan.
Well, let's call it an ongoing loan, then.
We'll call it due next week, assuming you live that long.
Assuming we live that long, Manny. Now, I come with you for no other reason than a proposition.
I'm listening.
Of course you are, you genial man. Look, I wouldn't come to you if I didn't need you. There's no money, there's no loan here. You are a man of brute force, of raw strength, but of great reason.
Save the flattery, Godvin. I know you're kind. You'll spend many words on little matters. Get to the point.
The point being, we are tasked with providing intel. But to get us there, we may need a set of arms.
So you need my strength or my sword. Very well. Gather
Say-
your group. Who else have you managed to convince?
So far, it is you and I.
Well, at least you show some wisdom in your first selection. I will accompany you to your next.
Thank you. Shall we go find Lionel now, then?
Lionel. Very well.
Many has joined the party. Dun, 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 dun. As Godwin and Many make their way towards Lionel, something else is happening. Quite a ways away. In a damp and dark place. Irrelevant, unknown to the two people we've just encountered. But for someone else, well, it feels comfortable. If you've ever been really sick or really cold and never just like wrapped yourself completely in a blanket, like covered your face, everything, that's sort of the feeling that this individual has right now. There's something off. He feels a bit weird, like he just got punched really hard or smacked around, which is pretty hard given what he's made of. But at the same time, the thing that's around him, that's sort of wrapped itself around him for the time being, is giving him some sense of comfort. As he becomes more and more aware of his surroundings, he hears something. A dripping sound, maybe? Yeah, that's what it sounds like water dripping onto a stone floor. There's a comfort in that too. But to seek out its source, he'd have to leave his comfy confines. So, Rick, do you?
So I'm really comfortable, and there's a sound of water nearby.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Then for the moment, Rick is content in the comfort he feels. And besides, something hurts. He could use more time to figure this out. Meanwhile, back at camp, Godwin and Many have made their way over to Lionel. And before we meet Lionel, Chris, did you get a chance to describe Many physically?
I did not.
Why don't we do that, and then we'll meet our next compatriot.
All right. Part of the reason why many decided that accompanying Godwin might be a good idea is that, as was mentioned, I think, in the chat there, coercion comes easily to him. He's a mountain of the man, 7 feet worth of muscle on muscle, building up like a pyramid to his wide chest and shoulders. He carries a sword that's almost as long as he is, that's strapped to his back with what looks like various pieces of metal and pieces of leather that are all different colors and shapes and sizes. You get the impression that maybe he has salvaged them from somewhere. Each of them is etched in a different way as well. Probably not the way that they originally came. They have images of skulls and crosses and other less salubrious imagery on them. Overall, you get the impression that this is a man who enjoys his violence.
Right. Yes. Well, as I said earlier, some in the Witch Hunter Battalion perhaps revel in the work. Oh, very good. So the two of you make your way over to Lionel, and Lionel, where would they find you? What would you be doing?
Lionel, within the ranks of this encampment, every time they set back up, Lionel does his best to be on the outer edge, as much as he can. Obviously, being that he's part of a military group, he can only do so much. But if anyone is like outside of the circle, as it were, it's going to be Lionel. He'll set up his tent far away. He'll normally just get to chopping wood around the edges of the encampment, building up a stockpile for fires and whatnot. Perhaps a little light foraging, depending how bountiful the lands they're currently camping in are.
Right. Okay, then you see Godwin and Many approach you.
And what Godwin and Manny would see, they obviously know me, but to an outside observer,
yes,
perhaps what they would see is an old man, definitely older than one would expect to be in the lower ranks of an army. Normally, when people get up to the age of Lionel, they're in a position of power, like not really on the front lines anymore. And to an outside observer, he would seem sort of an unassuming older man, but if you watch for a little bit longer, you'll see he's still quite dexterous, graceful, even if he's maybe not trying to show that off so much. And excuse me. And yeah, he has a longer, I wouldn't say particularly well-kept hair, but it's not like wild man status,
Right.
and a beard, both dull gray. And he doesn't wear your typical military garb. He looks like someone who would be in like a scouting unit. He wears lighter armor, carries a bow and a spear with him.
Right.
And he has a lovely little friend, a red fox, that he is allowed to keep as a companion as long as it doesn't make any trouble, named Elvis.
Nice. Of course, we're all dying to know, Thomas. What does the fox say? Anyways, I've been saving that one for 5 weeks. So,
well, we've got another 5 sessions plus the rest of this one to figure out what the fox perhaps says.
Okay, well there you go. All right. Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, on seeing Godwin and Manny start approaching him, Lionel throws down the armful of wood that he has in the rest of the pile.
Lieutenant Glademir, what can I do for you this evening?
How are you, you old geezer?
I'm grand.
Yes, you seem it.
Many?
Lionel. Still entertaining that little parasite, I see. Many bends down to your fox and rummages in his package for a strip of meat.
Ylvis leaves his place by Lionel's side. He certainly has a liking to the bribes that Many offers him on the regs.
Mm.
Well,
Just remember, when it comes time to pick bones clean, mine last, eh? And tosses him the meat.
I think you'll be fine, Many. By the nature of this job, he has plenty of scraps. Well, if the great Lieutenant Gladesmere has made his way to the edge of the encampment, presumably my services are needed for something or another.
Not just needed, but required. Wanted, even. Lionel, we need assistance. We always have need your assistance. You have been our guide. And as
Lieutenant, just tell me what the assignment is. We both know that your buttering me up is, well, ceremony at best.
look, it's not glamorous, but we have a job to do, basically. The commander needs us to get intel from it's a 1 day, maybe 2 day journey to an orc encampment. That's basically it. But you are the person I need for this. That's why I came to you after I came to Many.
Understandable. Well, quite literally, it is my job, my charge to do as the commanding officer says, so I will happily leave he looks woefully at his tent. Happily leave my beautiful slice of heaven to go spy on some orcs.
Look on the bright side. We will be actually doing something.
And
We are always doing something, Godvin.
just
You don't encourage.
in a quiet acknowledgement that he's not getting out of this one, he just heads over to his tent and he grabs his bow and spear and falls in behind the other two.
Nice. Okay, well, Godvin, you have 2. Do you feel as if you need a third?
The third is our most important, actually.
Interesting.
He is someone I trust very dearly. The both of you obviously know who I'm talking about. We've been seen together many times. Shall we go grab Rian?
That
Yes.
pilfer.
I assume we should go.
Ended up on the block yet.
I was about to say, I would assume we should go open up the stocks to collect him.
Yes.
Okay.
Very well. I think he received his beatings already for today.
Oh, speaking of beatings, Many. The cook, 10 lashings.
I'll pass the word on. That cook is not going to have much skin left.
And as the 3 proceed to see Rian, we switch back again It's a dark and damp place. Definitely a cave, Rick. That's what it is. You're starting to wake up, but you've got that feeling, when you've like slept for a really long time, like you've rolled over and it's like 4 p.m. and you went to bed at like 10 the night before, and it's just like you're still kind of tired. But it's just like you've been sleeping for so long that like you're a bit stiff. All of those feelings are hitting Rick all at once. And actually, a thought crosses your mind. How long have you been here? Because it's coming back to you now. You weren't in a cave before, were you? Weren't you in the CN Tower? Weren't you with other people? Yeah, you can see their faces, their names. You remember the fight? Oh, you remember the fight. That's why you're hurting. Luckily, of course, thanks to your nature, the very stone around you has helped you heal. And a moment more, you finally wake up, as it were. Your eyes, or whatever Rick's eyes are like, open, and you look around, and you realize that you're basically, Kirk, Rick is like embedded in the wall in a way. So like your head is sort of sticking out a little bit, and then the rest of your body is like in the wall such that you kind of just look like a head in the wall. You can feel the edges of your fingers and feet, but they've sort of like integrated with the stone cave around you.
Nice.
So like as you start to wake up and naturally, sort of wiggle your toes, the cave shakes a little bit and little rocks sort of fall from the edges. You don't remember sliding into this cave, but you're here, so you must have gone in here at some point. And as you start to feel your extremities or whatever, realize you're, in a cozy, sort of comfortable place, you start to hear another noise. You still hear the water dripping on the rocks. Maybe it's raining or something. That's what it sounds like, sort of the gentle pitter-patter of rain on the rocks. But you hear another noise deeper in the cave to your left. And, as you adjust to the darkness, you realize that to your right, quite a ways away, but that's where you're hearing the water from. And that's why you think it's rain. You're probably hearing rain on the outside of the cave, hitting the edge of the cave mouth or something. But to your left, you're hearing a different noise. It's sort of like a chittering sound, like bats. If you've ever heard bats sort of like making that chirpy noise. It's sort of like that. And of course, the echoey nature of the cave makes it amplified a zillion times. Such that the noise bounces past you, and because you're still part of the cave wall, not only do you hear it, but you sort of feel it. And it vibrates through you, like you're on one of those, like, I don't know, like a ride that shakes back and forth, like a wooden roller coaster or something like that. Your whole body shakes. And eventually, the sort of vibration through your body is enough that you sort of stumble out of the cave wall onto the ground. And there's a shattering behind you as bits of the cave that were part of you a moment ago fall to the ground and roll on the cave wall. And you're out of the cave wall. You're Rick Corner once again. And as you look behind you, you can see this sort of comical outline of where Rick was in the wall.
Nice. Was it a corner of the wall?
Ha! Yes, in fact, because you were sort of at a natural fork in the cave system, like I said. You have found yourself, as you come out of the wall, facing a left path and a right path. Like I said, the right path you can hear the sounds of pitter-pattering of water, and to the left you can hear the sort of chirping of bats. there only seems to be the two sides, or at least there might be little holes in the walls here and there, but nothing that you could fit through. There's only two places that you could walk. So,
I see.
left or right?
Well, when in doubt, I don't know. Go left. Sure.
Okay. You start to head left. You're sort of stomping, becoming a natural rhythm of the cave. Again, this feels comfortable for you. I don't know how many caves Rick Corner's actually been in his lifetime. You can decide that.
Yes.
Okay. But it feels nice. It feels like a safe place. Even though you're hearing something that sounds like animals, the environment's just kind of cozy for you. Objectively speaking, this is probably a pretty gross place. All the cavern walls are kind of wet and slimy.
Nice.
These are all probably caves that were created from water, so there's probably like some kind of underground spring nearby. But it doesn't bother you at all, because of course you're made of rock. And you progress to the left, and eventually, after another long journey, it's very hard for you to keep track of time. First of all, you have no idea how long you were on that wall, but it feels like you were asleep for weeks.
But if only I had some sort of time sense.
Only had a time sense. Eventually, the tunnel opens up into a large cavern, and indeed, looking up, you can see. Well, they're basically bats. They don't look exactly like the bats that you remember, but they're about twice the size. First of all, but they got the anatomy in vaguely the right spot. They got this sort of leathery wing set up. Their overall body's shape, though, is less like a rat with wings and more like a weasel with wings. Their main body is longer and more tube-like.
Or are they wats?
They're wats. And they have long, sort of spirally tails, almost like a pig. And you can see that as they're sort of clinging to the top of the rock face, some of them are using the little spiral tails to sort of stab into little crevices on the cavern, like they're digging for insects or something like that. The creatures don't seem interested in you in any way, but they do continue to chirp. However, something does take notice of you, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Godvin, Meni, and Lionel, you proceed through the camp to find Rian. Am I saying that right? It's Rian? Or is it Rian?
Rian.
It's Rian. Okay. Thank you.
Ryan.
You find Rian, and as the trio approach you, Rian, can we get a physical description, please, Richard?
Sure. I love the idea that he is clapped in the stocks right now, so I'm going to describe him even more like destitute as possible. Rian is slim, of about average height and pretty average looking. It's not a face that you'd like to necessarily see, but it's not one you'd necessarily kick out of the bed. These are the best kinds of things that you can be, though, as a man who practices sleight of hand. His dark cloak is currently turned up over his head. One of the children in the village probably had done that in order to play a prank on him, so he is completely blacked out, and you can hear him under there yelling expletives in order to try to get somebody to potentially help him. But his dark cloak would have covered up a slightly more fanciful wardrobe underneath, stained by dirt, cut up and disgusting, but still somewhat of a nicer outfit than what you would find here, which would look out of place really anywhere in the rest of this kingdom outside of the castle. As well, his currently hidden light hair and steel blue eyes are usually bathed in the shadow of the cowl that sits over his head. And normally, he would be trying to steal things. However, he is in trouble for stealing things, hence why he's in the stocks, currently
Yes.
screaming expletives. And as you approach, you likely hear something to the effect of, "God damn it, you children, please let me out of this thing," as his cloak is
Right.
over his head.
Right. Okay, and Godwin, you've approached close enough to see and hear that.
I can see that we're only taking the best with us.
Are you sure we need him? He seems like he would be a lot less trouble here.
He's less trouble if he is here. Or isn't here, I mean. Rian, and he lifts the cloak off your head.
Ah, the light of day has been brought to me by none other than Godwin Gladmere. Fantastic to see you.
As always, old friend.
And what do I owe this visit to the stocks today?
Rian, what got you put in here?
Doing the rounds.
Of course.
It means picking up anything that wasn't nailed down.
I'm aware. Thank you, Manny. Manny, could you please bust him out?
I would be able to do it
Many-
myself, old chap, but both hands are currently tied.
As they likely should be. Luckily, I have nothing of value. And Many snaps the stalks between, in just one hand, just above where Rian's neck is placed in it, and pulls one side free. They really should make these better.
I agree.
If they
They
made
let
them
them
worse.
rot.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Now,
Well, odds bodkins, those hurt the wrists over time. He pulls himself out of there and tries to fix his appearance, pulls his cowl back over his head, and does a bow in a fashionable manner. You require my services.
yes, Rian, you know you are my most loyal friend.
As long as he doesn't have anything shiny in his pockets.
Or on his person. Or anywhere
General
nearby.
area, yes.
Godwin clutches the amulet he's wearing. Rian, by anything but the shine on my chest, you are my most loyal friend.
While I would normally be hurt for this decision to hide your probably most precious possession, I cannot blame you, as you do know who I am.
Then you know why I would ask you to come with us, why I would get you out of your most favorite place to be.
Ah, you need some help covertly commandeering some coinage.
More specifically, the covert area of that wording. But yes, doing anything covert, yes.
Understood. I can do that, well, anytime. I can do it right now. I'm free of the stocks. Do we need to go tonight?
Yes. We will leave tonight, yes. After a nice good rest and some food, the four of us will make way to spy on an encampment nearby. Can I trust you to advise us on how to stay hush-hush?
There is nothing in the world that I don't know better. You have me, sir.
Good. Good. As my most trustworthy friend, I believe you.
You make an excellent choice, Godwin. He should go and scout. He is very expendable. Perhaps you will make an okay leader after all.
I knew you and I thought alike, Manny. I knew it.
Where is this food you spoke of?
Right, I was
Yes,
just
I have not
wondering
eaten in
that
2 days.
the
All
chef
right.
is... We'll have to move quickly if we wish to catch him before the commander.
Then let's make haste.
Nice. Give food and merriment then, and then the quest, the mission.
God, that is so mean. Yes, oh yes, thank you for the rations. Oh, very good. By the way,
The commander ordered 10 lashings.
Yeah. This steak is delicious, by the way.
I'll sneak in another one for you because you're so kind.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, sorry, but
Not sorry.
yeah. Okay. Well, our trio is now a quartet.
Unless the meal is poor, in which case
Actually, yes.
the commander
Nathaniel, what
ordered
is-
15
what is on the menu?
lashes.
Oof. Yes. So,
Nathaniel, what is on the menu then?
what is on the menu is a delicacy of this area. Open flame grilled gecko.
Ah,
So,
worst part is when this whole platoon like first started moving, we had a really good chef,
mm,
and then
Yes.
something went wrong, like very minorly wrong, and we got a new chef, not quite as good.
Yep.
Repeat ad nauseum, and now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really a chef at all now. It's just one of the boys.
yeah.
We call him chef.
He's a guy who knows how to start a fire without burning himself.
Chef is his rank.
Chef is his first name.
It's an elected position,
Nice.
and there's only one vote, the captain's.
Yeah.
Wait, is this South Park now?
Yeah.
they call him Mr. Chef.
The gecko
Mr.
wasn't
Chef is
bad
my
today.
dad.
The gecko wasn't too bad today, I would say.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The gecko was okay. You can live. Speaking of live,
Roasted gecko.
Rick Corner finds himself in this open cave. And although the badger-like bat creatures on the ceiling are strange, they want nothing to do with the large rock man who has just entered their domain. They're still definitely chittering at each other and using their long sort of pitchfork tails to stab into little crevices. And every so often you hear like a squish sound as they get something. But on the ground nearby, you find a much larger specimen. This one still not huge, but it's the size of like a young cow.
Move.
And it's like I said, it's very much a bat creature. It's got a long sort of tubular body. And then its wings are out to the side and is sort of supporting it. So it's sort of walking on like its hind legs, and then it's using like its wings on the ground to sort of hobble forward. It's got sort of a praying mantis kind of stance, or like the pterodactyls there in Jurassic Park 3 or whatever. And it lets out sort of a lower pitched screech towards you, Rick. Not necessarily hostile, but this sort of hiss, a goose would give out if you walked too close to its nest. Which you're getting the idea that you might have. It hobbles a couple more steps towards you and then sort of cranes its head sideways like a bird might inquisitively and gives out another hiss.
Hi, little creature. I hope you understand. I mean you no harm.
As the creature continues to hiss and get agitated, some of the younger creatures that are on the ceiling stop doing what they're doing and sort of like crane their necks towards the two of you. And the cave gets quite eerily silent, other than this mother, I guess, that's continuing to hiss at you. And it's kind of like trying to use its body to like make you back up, basically. It's not moving, but it's just kind of like continually like pushing its torso towards you. Trying to get as big and threatening as possible.
Look, I need to go that way.
And you sort of, where do you point? Like behind it?
Behind it.
Yeah.
And clearly you're blocking me. So, here's what I suggest. I'm going to sit here until you realize I am no longer a threat. And then I will continue on my way.
Nice. Very good. And here comes the first roll of the season.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah. I will give you 2 options.
Yeah, I like options.
You can roll. I want you to do defy danger.
Okay.
And you may defy danger. Just as a brief recap, I think we covered this during character creation. But defy danger is very much like take a powerful blow in masks. It's something that I will call out for you to do as opposed to you choosing to do it. And so defying danger is just like you're in a dangerous situation. I want you to sort of like stand strong.
Okay.
So when you go to roll it, it should ask you what stat you want to use. And I would like you to either use Constitution or Wisdom, your choice.
Defy danger, roll, ask, okay. Said Constitution or Wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I'm still trying to get a success. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, do I want to roll a bad one here? Because usually if it was a powerful blow or something, we wanted to roll low, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's not the case. You still want to get a success on Defy Danger. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right, here we go. Rick the Dwayne. the Dwayne the Brick. Oh my god. That comes off the tongue very, very easily.
Just flows. Dwayne the Dwayne.
All right. Constitution it is then. Let's see. Hey.
Oh, and it's an 11. Nice. So that's a full success. You do what you set out to. The threat doesn't come to bear. So.
I sit down for a very long time.
I was going to say, I thought they were bats.
Shush you. Wrong universe. Go home. You're drunk.
Yeah, so you'll see in the details there, it says by enduring, use Constitution. And basically you're enduring because you're going to sit there until it leaves. So yeah, Rick sits himself down and makes himself as non-threatening as a rock man can be. The creature continues to hiss at you for a while and then changes from aggressive to perplexed. And then changes from perplexed to uninterested.
Nice.
It sort of like faintly scratches at the ground nearby and then wanders back towards its brood and starts to drink from the little brook that's in the cave.
Nice.
Sits there until it forgets this rock moves. Very good. A very classic Rick moment. Overcome with
classic.
With calm and peace. So, he's a perfect person for this world embroiled permanently in war. I can't wait.
You know it.
Back we come to the camp. Rian, Lionel, Godwin, and Manny, you have eaten the best you can. The food was definitely more appetizing when you first set out. The food is getting less and less appetizing the more time you spend here. And because, of course, as the commander mentioned, you are behind enemy lines, most of the food is coming from foraging. And there's not a lot to forage in a mountain valley. But nevertheless, you make the best of it. Maybe you get an hour or 2 of sleep, if that's your thing. Or you start working out or prepping or getting your stuff together. Whatever constitutes you getting ready to go. But eventually, the 4 of you, or the 3 of you, I should say, meet Godwin on one edge of the encampment. And whoever is the last person to show up finds the others waiting. Like I said, sort of at the edge of the camp. The guards who are currently on patrol are sort of engaging in just like, where are you off to, Godvin? So I'll just do that character. Lieutenant Godvin, where are you off to at this time of night, sir?
Well, the commander has given me quite an important duty. We are going to head deeper into enemy territory and find this orc encampment and provide intel. Simply put, that's our task.
Well, we've done some limited scouting. The only real way out of this valley is the same sort of way we came in, sir, and that is through the tunnel networks. You'll probably want to head east. That's the direction we haven't been yet. If the orc settlement is in this area, it's got to be in that network somewhere.
And you think it's beyond those caves, then?
He just looks at you blankly. I don't think anything, sir. I'm not here to think.
Fabulous. Well, thank you for providing me a starting point. I really do appreciate it.
He nods again.
What is your names? What are your names?
Jervis, sir.
Jervis. Excellent.
No one has asked me my name since I arrived.
Well, I have.
Very good. The commander has informed me that you are not to be supplied with any horses or additional gear, so you should grab what you can.
And we have.
Very good, sir. He hands you a small bag. This is enough food for 4 people for 2 days.
Thank you. Manny, hold on to this.
I'm not your pack horse, Godvin. Carry your own supplies.
This is all of our supplies.
Many takes a portion of it. That's probably more than 1/4. Carry your own supplies, Godvin. I have mine.
It will be done. And he hands out the rest of the rations to the other parties as well.
Right.
He puts his in his bag.
Laugh.
And now, by the grace of God, shall we head off?
The grace of who? Sure.
Good night, Bob. Okay, well, the next question for the 4 of you is your marching order. How do you proceed? Who's in front, who is behind, that kind of thing.
Lionel would be the advanced scout of the party.
Gotcha.
And behind him is going to be Rianne, myself, and Manny at the back.
Gotcha.
How many at the back?
Many.
Lionel would be staying like him and Ylvis would be like 15, 20 feet ahead.
Right.
Like scouting for the scouts, essentially.
Gotcha. All right, and the 4 of you proceed. It's slow going, of course, because you can only move 5 tiles per turn. I'm just kidding. That was a fireman joke.
Harsh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, we don't
And
even
they're
have horse
Is it tiles?
classes.
Yeah, no cavalier classes, right? So. Oh, well, I guess thieves can move 6 squares, so Rian can move slightly more. But he.
Haha!
I would be able to move that fast also.
Yeah.
My job.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, that was a fireman joke.
Fast.
Maybe if we had a dancing
You're
here with us.
fast? I've never heard of this.
Okay, Lionel, as our scout, I would like you to make the second roll of the season. Yeah! I would like you to roll Discern Realities, please, which is going to be our default perception check.
Are we
I was like,
are we currently
How
on
many
a
of them?
perilous journey?
Are we considered? Yes, you are. There's now 4 of you in unknown territory in the middle of the mountain. Pretty perilous.
I succeed as though I rolled a 10+.
Nice. When you undertake a perilous journey through wilderness, whatever job you take, you see it as if you rolled a 10+. Undertaking a perilous journey is slightly different than just rolling perception. So
Okay.
So
You
undertaking
did just say we were, but I'll discern realities.
Yeah. So yeah, no, fair enough.
I succeed as if I rolled a 10 plus.
Nice. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So just to make that clear, undertaking a perilous journey is the actual travel. That's like, foraging for food or keeping watch or whatever. Whereas discern realities is for an immediate, I'm looking for something.
All right. Did you want me to ask from this list, or did you have a slew of things you had intended to tell me had I succeeded?
This particular instance, I'm going to tell you what you see. In the future, you will be able to ask from the list. So on a full success, you get 3 questions. So who's really in control here?
It's not Godvin.
Yeah. So you managed to. You and Ylvis managed to find the sort of smoothest and least harsh path up the side of this mountain face, and you managed to spot out the closest and most easily accessible cave entrance. Probably as good a place to start as any.
All right. Yeah. When Lionel finds this cave entrance, he just gives a sharp whistle. The understood, signal for I've found what we're looking for, and it appears to be safe for now.
Yeah, and because you got a 10, as you approach the entrance and wait for the others, Ylvis perks his ears a little bit and starts sniffing the entrance.
He only seems interested in what's inside, not like anything behind us or anything like that.
No.
All right. So I keep a healthy distance from the entrance of the cave.
Okay, the other 3 catch up.
Given this signal, many approaches quickly, outstriding the others simply by dint of being taller.
Mm-hmm.
What on earth does that mean?
Nothing.
Lionel, why are we not proceeding in?
Well, I had to wait for the rest of you. After all, you are in command here. Also, I thought it might be prudent to let you know that Ylvis is interested by something in the cave. I don't know how deep we'll have to go to find whatever that is, but...
This does not seem like an orc cave. There are no bodies out front.
Nathaniel, Ylvis was perking up his ears and all that. Was he like baring teeth? Did he seem like he expected a fight, or he's just curious?
He's not getting too aggressive. He's obviously picked up something.
Yeah. Right. It would seem that whatever is interesting Ylvis isn't outright hostile. He's not bearing fangs or growling or anything, but keep sharp eyes, I suppose.
They don't call them clever foxes for nothing.
You'll give Ylvis a scritch behind the ear.
Many looks disappointed that there doesn't seem to be any imminent threat, but simply stands by passively. Well, Godvin, now what?
Well, then, now we proceed with caution, gentlemen. Quietly, cautiously, with Lionel in front again.
I don't know if Lionel wants to be in front if we're not an open forest. If you tell him he needs to be in front, he will, but he would actually prefer to be in the middle of the group inside of a cave.
Why don't you just say that in character?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Godvin, if that is what you wish, I will take the lead again, but
well, now hang on.
My skill set's a bit more tuned for open areas.
You do bring up a good point. And now that I think about it, perhaps, Manny, would you like to bear the front?
There is little obvious for me to do here. Let us send the pilferer in and see if he can't find us something of interest.
Yes, the dark is exactly what I am known to manipulate for my uses. This would be a good use of my skill set.
Just be careful in there, Rian.
If you're offering.
There might be some wild stalks.
I am not offering, Godwin. I am doing my duty to you.
Also, this gives you the chance to steal anything first before we even see it.
I heard you say nothing, and he proceeds to move forward.
You see,
I did want to ask, is Two Fingers a literal moniker, or is it just his nickname?
No, it's just what he's called. He has
Okay.
all 10 fingers and toes.
Gotcha.
Nice.
As far as you're aware.
Have 8 fingers and 2 thumbs.
As far as I'm aware.
As far as you are aware, you haven't seen his toes.
Right.
Well, then his name would be Two Toes. I'm not even gonna open this dialogue with you.
This is the conversation.
All right, so the quartet proceeds in. The journey is quiet, although a little bit uneasy. Unlike someone else, none of you necessarily find caves particularly comforting. I should say, not quartet, it is quintet. There is a fox with you. But the group continues to proceed through the tunnel network, following sort of the natural turns and twists of the cave, taking the most, open path they can, stopping when you need to, listening and watching and looking, but proceeding slowly and carefully. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to any of you, someone else is proceeding slowly and calmly straight towards you. And that, of course, would be Rick Corner.
What? No. I'm sticking to the corners.
It seems to me that an encounter is inevitable. But first, a break. It's 9:02, gentlemen. I will see you back at 9:12.
All right, we gotta go whip that chef,
First,
guys.
a message from our sponsors.
Yes. when we return,
Brought to you
yep.
by Rick
yeah,
Corner.
Richard, throw up those ads.
That's right. I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go down to the lobby.
When we
Those
return,
ads
Goblin
in
and crew will
post,
see
yeah.
Rick Corner.
Oh my god, we
So-
should have ads in the meantime of like in-universe ads.
Yeah,
Should be
like little
increasing.
bits.
Purchase ye old grog, good for what ails ya.
Yeah.
Want the real adventuring experience? Gecko on a stick. Coming
Yeah.
somewhere near you.
It's
You like it or
Gecko,
not?
not Geico.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, I'm gonna go get something to eat.
All right. Hey, and we're back. Welcome back. Let's continue on our journey here. So our group led by Godwin is continuing to move through the tunnels. It's been a few hours now. You haven't really spied anything out of the ordinary, but in the distance you can start to hear, for those of you maybe who are a bit more perceptive, you can start to hear the sounds of trickling water. You can start to hear chirping noises, similar to what Rick was hearing earlier. And maybe just on the edge of your hearing, you can hear like sort of a rumbly noise. Nothing too ominous, but like someone's dragging like a chest, like a big chest along the ground. like that kind of like every so often it's just go boom, 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 kind of thing. It's like thumping down, like when you would carry something heavy down the stairs, and it goes thump, thump, thump. So, Ylvis definitely picks it up first. Lionel probably starts to hear it, and it starts to get closer and closer, and you realize that it's gotten closer a lot faster than you expected. Maybe because of the echoing of the cave. But whatever is coming around the corner is going to come around the corner now. And I would like all 5 of you to please make just a straight dexterity roll, please.
Because you're all about to die.
Can I have context for what this is for?
Wait, does that include me?
Yeah, everyone.
Oh, okay, because I thought when you said 5, I thought you meant the fox, too. I'm like, okay. The straight dexterity roll?
Straight dexterity roll. So you should be able to just click on the bubble.
Oof.
I'm not very dexterous. Who would have thought?
Okay, here we go. Okay, excellent. Okay, those are all great rolls. I was wondering if anyone would get lower than that. Okay. So what has happened is as the 4 of you have continued journeying through this dark tunnel, lo and behold, a figure suddenly comes around the corner. He's not a figure that you are accustomed to seeing, because at first it's pretty clear to you that a large statue is just walking, ambulating down the corridor. And from Rick's perspective, 4 wacky-looking people and a fox have just suddenly appeared in the corridor that he was walking down. For those of you who got 7 through 9, you just sort of freeze in place, uncertain of what to do next. For those of you who got 10s or above, so that would be Godwin, Many, and Rian, each of you may react suddenly to the appearance of a large rock man approaching. You have 3 seconds, so enough time to shout something, enough time to pull something out, enough time to quickly dash to his side, something like that.
What order would you like us to declare in?
I'm gonna go Godwin, Rian, Many, in that order.
Okay. Godwin dashes to get protection somewhere.
Okay. Do you go up against the wall? Do you go behind somebody?
Yeah, I be directly behind Many.
Okay. Rian?
I had to think about what I was going to do because I can't just throw thing at man.
I guess you could. 3 seconds is enough time to throw a thing at man, but up to you.
Throw man at thing.
Yeah, okay. I throw a bottle of bloodweed poison at Rick.
Okay. What does that look like? To Rick, what does that look like visually?
This is a small circular little flask that has this. I guess if we're in the dark, so it might be hard to see, but a dark red liquid that is inside that would swirl around.
Dark red.
It's not thick. It's closer to water than it is to blood.
Gotcha.
And I guess that's all he would really catch, as it probably strikes him somewhere in the body.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. And it's in a little glass vial, you said?
A little glass vial.
Okay, so that shatters on him. Okay. And then Many?
I assume that I've never seen anything like this before.
No. None of you have.
You've seen rocks.
I mean, you've seen statues before.
But no one is ever walking.
No.
All right, in that case, Many
all of you know magic exists.
his massive sword from his back, And Triggers, what are you waiting for?
Okay.
Rude.
When you cry out a challenge to your enemies, roll con. You got a 7. On a 7 to 9, only a few, the weakest or most foolhardy among them, fall prey to your taunting. Okay. So, Manny, I would like you to say something. What do you cry out as you challenge?
Finally, a challenge. Come on.
Okay. So, Rick, what I want you to do is to make another defy danger constitution, please. This is for the poison, not for Manny's challenge.
Yes, ma'am. Wait, sorry.
Well, hardy-tardy.
Rip.
Oh, okay. That's a 4.
Hey, do I get experience?
Yes, you do. You can mark 1 experience.
Wow.
Where?
Wait, where?
I
That's a
see
great
it.
question.
Okay.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
A true critical fail.
At the top, there's an
There's an
XP.
XP
Could not
box,
have
yeah.
gotten a lower.
Yeah, I
You could
saw
put
that.
1.
Yay, I got 1 XP.
Yeah, nice.
I leveled up, guys.
Yeah. Congrats.
Okay, so, you're surprised by this, Rick, because you didn't think this was possible. But whatever that dude threw at you, the glass does nothing. It just bounces off. Right? Just breaks and falls to the ground. But whatever the liquid was, actually starts to burn a little bit, like you've touched the stove. It's been a long time since anything's burnt you. You didn't even necessarily know that was possible. And it's localized, but wherever in the torso Rian hits you is just kind of burning a little bit, like you've got heartburn or something.
Oh, cool.
So,
Ate
ouch.
too many rocks today.
Yeah. You hear Manny's cry, but because he got a 7, you hear it, and you're not particularly instigated. Well, I guess you can react to it however you want, but the mechanical effect of it doesn't affect you.
Just have to decide whether you are weak or foolhardy.
Yeah. Yes. Anyways, so with the immediate moment over, all of you, all 5 of you, are able to take stock in the fact that there is a large moving rock man who has just rounded the corner. Rian has thrown a vial at him. Rick, from your perspective, some dude threw a thing at you, and now that part of your body burns a little bit. The rest are... One has run behind the big tall guy. The big tall guy shouted at you. And the other dude who has a fox nearby is sort of standing in sort of a ready pose. And once the moment passes, there's sort of a quiet and a calm.
I'm waiting.
And Rick, what do you do?
Okay, there we go. I was just waiting for my cue.
Yeah.
I'm like, and when?
You're on.
That was rude.
By the
Hi.
almighty grace of God, it speaks!
Hold, gentlemen, hold. Are you alive?
Don't tell me you want to parlay with it. I thought we came
Manny.
here to fight.
Rick looks behind him. I'm like, are you talking to somebody else, or are you talking to me?
To you, foul beast.
What? Where?
The
What?
one standing before us.
Thyself. Your rough, craggy visage.
You mean that fox there? That's just a fox.
All right. Maybe leave him out of this.
Now,
At least we know it's dumb like a rock.
now, gentlemen, I feel like I know that this could be exactly what we fear. Tell me, did a witch do this to you?
Let me think for a moment. And then as he's doing that,
waiting a long time.
he the clothing that you're all wearing, does it look like older armor from like movies and stuff like that, like well-worn armor that you would see?
I'm literally wearing leather scraps.
It
Cool.
looks like what you would see around a D&D table.
I'm wearing
Okay.
corduroy
Like a
pants and a Supreme hoodie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This isn't premium armor either. It's all probably pretty battered bronze type stuff.
Oh yeah, you guys got the whatever scraps you could find, because remember you're a
I have
disgraced
leathers.
unit.
They're kind of nice.
Yeah.
Not
I
super-
don't even have leathers.
I have one
All
set
right,
of clothes,
so-
it's okay.
So Rick kind of looks around, takes in what they look like, takes in the guy holding a giant sword rather than guns, takes in the weird language the weird stick man is saying,
Yon Beverly, he's bedeviled.
and the fact they're talking about witches. Are you guys LARPing?
Yes. I was writing that choking.
Whether it was going to be that or Spanish.
Yeah.
Godvin! The witch seems to have taken his memory from him
Okay.
and meshed with his exterior.
What is this LARPing? Can you eat it or kill it?
It
It's
speaks a different language.
kind of acting.
We are acting
Acting
on
how?
orders.
Okay, look, that joke clearly didn't go well. Judging by
The witch
what-
must have taken its sense of humor as well.
I'm beginning to get that sense.
I'm wondering, even if this is the doing of witches.
Okay, look, do you want to kill me? Do you want to listen to me? What's going on? I just came out of that cave.
Definitely the former.
Are you
Most
some
definitely
kind of,
not the latter.
are you some kind of orcish offspring?
Be kind, Rian. He is cursed.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff flinging around, a lot of words, you know, like demon, offspring of some sort.
I don't
Foul-
remember hearing mentioning demon, but now that you say that,
foul creatures, cursed. Look, Hi, I'm Rick. Who are you?
Rick, sir. My name is Godvin Glademere, and I will stop at nothing to cure you of this ailment.
I don't
we didn't come
need-
here to take on a charity case. We came here to scout and kill.
This is proof of magical doings.
Rian is right, and you should be kind to others, many.
Perhaps
If it's magic that's to blame, then we should kill it before it turns on us.
hold, though, because obviously, well, the bestiaries of this land are not completely filled out. Perhaps this is some sort of natural occurrence, as odd as that sounds. I've not heard of any witchcraft that turns people to stone, at least not in a way in which they're allowed to move afterwards.
This is a fair point.
Who knows what evil magics can accomplish? I've heard of a man having his head exploded from half a mile away. Rock seems relatively tame.
The first thing you're talking about is probably a cannon, or possibly a gun. Anyways, I have 2 questions, and
Cannon, gun,
God.
LARPing, all this weird language. Are you trying to cast a spell?
Are you
Godvin-
the witch?
Are you in charge here?
I am. Yes.
Then, clearly, since you're the only one willing to listen, then I will talk to you
Please,
with two
gentlemen,
questions.
leave me aside with this person.
Very well.
Oh, so yeah,
Then
speaking.
he puts his sword back into the improvised sheath at his back, and he walks away and sort of leans back against one of the cave areas, clearly exceedingly disappointed with how this has all turned out.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm not angry.
I refuse to leave your side, as he may try something behind your back.
For crying out loud, and Rick just sits down.
Please, Rian. I trust him. I have a good sense of these things.
It's better this way for you, Manny. I get the feeling all you would do is blunt your sword.
I can
Hush.
always get another. At this rate, it's used for nothing but cutting off the heads of miscreants.
All right, you two, hush. Give me a moment with this man.
So, first of all, I may not be the smartest, but saying I am dim-witted or whatever it was they said because of my slow speech, it's very rude. Secondly,
Is true.
two questions. First, where are we? Second, when are we?
Well, you are in... I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't know it, but you're in the Kingdom of Arnvel. When... and he looks around. Now.
You don't know what year it is?
We've been at war for so long. Time really has gotten away.
Okay, so here's the deal. I just woke up in that cave, and before that, I was in a large, towering structure.
Yes.
Clearly, the rock guy from the cave, yeah, kind of cliche, I know. But judging by the place you just said, I don't recognize it. Judging by the fact you can't tell me instantly what year it is, means you're not from not only where I am, but from when I am.
Would you do me the honor of telling me when and where you're from, if you can tell me that?
Well,
If we're trading information, it seems only fair.
of course.
You are the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Thank you. From a place called Toronto. Technically, it's spelled Toronto, but anybody from never mind. And when, the year for me was 2030, give or take a few years.
2030.
Oh, and this, yeah, I just, I'm not cursed. I'm just me.
You were born this way.
No.
No, you are just like this.
Yes.
What is your name?
Rick.
Rick. What is it that awoke you? Because I believe it is the same thing that awoke me.
Well, if you go in the cave, you'll see a giant Rick-size hole, but what woke me is... I don't know.
I believe, like me, you were called by the grace of God. And he taps the amulet on his chest.
This God thing again.
Quietly.
Godvin, you are always going on about your so-called God. I have seen no evidence of this creature.
He speaks through me, and I hear his messages.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Thank you.
Delusions, you mean? Don't trouble this poor creature with them.
Listen to me, Rick. Perhaps there is a way to give you your figure back, if that's what you seek.
No.
Oh.
I've been this way for so long that I don't care for what I was before.
Then
Think about it for a moment. I don't need to eat. I don't need to sleep, I think. Basically, anything that was biological before is better.
Sound quite pleasant, as a matter of fact. Well,
plus, I'm stronger.
You don't know the area. And we are on a mission, and we can't afford to get sidetracked. So, you seem like a gentle fellow, and we would simply like to pass through your cave.
Bird lands on Rick's shoulder. Oh, hello, little one. It's not really my cave. I just kind of was stuck in it.
I see.
I can guide you through it, though.
Oh, so you've become familiar with the area.
No.
Many stands away from the wall and pulls his sword out once again. And he pays attention to the fox baring its teeth and Lionel on the move.
Lionel takes a stance and warns everyone. He just says, "Gentlemen, it would appear we are no longer alone in this cave."
Enough talk, Godvin. You would talk a man to death. It's time for some more action now. Stand aside.
In a moment, the wall on your east side starts to crack, and in another moment, rocks burst out from it, and the cave wall shatters, and a large spider creature crawls forward and lets out a hiss. Garvin, Rian, Menny, and Lionel, you have all heard and maybe even seen, heard of rumors of creatures like this dwelling in these mountain passes. Large insectoid creatures with armor-like hide and terrible acid-like bites that burn and kill.
Now
Do they have a name, these creatures?
So, no, because they're only rumors.
They're called ick and ew.
How do people talk about them in the rumors if they don't have a name? They just say, you know that spider thing that spits the acid?
They just refer to them as cave spiders or large spiders, right? So
Okay.
Giant spider.
Now we are talking.
the creature hisses and lunges, and we are in initiative.
Many hisses and lunges.
All right, Godwin, the ball is yours. You may act first or announce who is acting first.
Well, I think I know who would love to act first, and that's Manny.
Okay. Manny, the puck is yours.
Now it begins. And many hacks and slashes.
Nice. Hack and slash
Where'd
roll.
they come in?
Nice. You attack
Ooh.
it, got an 8. Okay, so so what happens is you roll damage, and then the enemy will get to make an attack against you.
All right.
So so that's how it works with hack and slash. If you fail the roll, you just miss and they hit you. If you get a partial success, you hit, but they also hit you. If you get a full success, you just hit. So
And in terms of dealing damage,
And how does it
there you go.
work when you have reach? Now, I'm not talking about my bow. I'm talking about my spear. Is it like if the creature is like a smaller creature, it doesn't have something with reach, it can't hit me back?
Yeah.
Even if I roll middling?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's contextual. Like if you hit like a creature that had a little tiny sword and you had a big spear, then they couldn't reasonably hit you. But if there was multiple creatures, maybe some other creature gets to jump on you or something.
Okay. I figured that was the case. Just checking up.
Okay, so you get 9 on your damage. Very good.
Many brings his sword sweeping down and tries to crush the thing basically, but with a sharp edge.
Right.
Ooh.
Your sword slashes along its armored carapace, and indeed it does feel like your sword has come in contact with something hard and chitinous. The creature bleeds sort of a black ichor, which splashes onto the ground.
Ew.
Does the black ichor burn when it splashes on the ground?
No, but it's just very slimy and slippery. And Rick, you realize actually now that you see it, that you've actually seen this slime in other tunnels all along. Didn't bother you because whatever, the cave was cozy, but seeing it now, you realize that you've seen ichor like this all over the place.
Gross.
The creature lets out a pained hiss as a giant gash has been left sort of across one leg in its torso. Manny, please pass the puck.
Don't you need to attack me back?
Oh yeah, I do need to attack you back. You're right.
This one's a freebie.
And he makes an attack
Oh,
against
sir,
you.
you forgot to sign homework, sir.
All right, he gets a 5.
And what does that mean?
So
5,
you
1 to
do
6.
you have armor?
I do.
Okay, so subtract whatever your armor is, and the rest gets just subtracted from your HP.
Oh, speaking of which, did I take any damage from that acid?
You're
gonna be taking 1d4 poison damage ongoing until you get cured.
Yeah. And curing for you is going to be a lot simpler. You just basically need to sit and like.
And if I soak it, and if I soak 1d4 anyways,
then nothing happens.
Sweet.
So, like I said, it gives you that burning sensation. It bothers you, but you might not actually get hurt from it exactly.
Ew, I have a rumbly in my tummies.
So
That only hands can satisfy.
Perhaps Rian will have a chance to react to the fact that you've been burned by the acid, but don't seem to be hurt by it. So, okay. Anyways, Manny, who are you passing the puck to?
I will pass the puck to Rick Corner.
Okay.
Come, Rockman. Let's see if you're any good for anything.
And here I was finally able to talk to somebody.
Talk is overrated.
What can I do? Bo, bo, bo. Right, signature weapon. Me. Oh, sharp, +2 piercing, +1 damage. Okay. Right, I remember now. Yeah. Okay, what I want to do is I want to actually where's the spider located right now? Like, is it?
It's just burst out of a cave wall, so it's like based in the middle of the room. It's just burst out of a wall, Kool-Aid Man style, and it started chittering towards you, and then Many is taking a swipe at it.
Cool. All right. I'm going to barrel towards it because Rick is so beefy he doesn't run, he barrels.
Ooh, barrel roll.
And I want to basically punch it.
Yeah, cool.
By also saying, I'm sorry, creature.
Gotcha. Hack and slash, please.
Hack and slash. So, my fist does +2 piercing. And does +1 damage, and then I have another thing where I roll an additional 1d4.
Right. So,
okay, I need
roll
to
the hack and slash
first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Excellent. Yeah, so then roll your damage die, and I don't know if it gives you a prompt to add bonus dice. You might have to roll the d4 just on the sidebar.
You can add a global
D10
modifier
plus
in order
D4.
to add...
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is included.
Okay. Yeah. So you got a 3, and you rolled a second 3.
Okay, to be a +1 on top of that.
So it's 7. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll add that to the thingy there. Okay.
Okay. Rick's fist lands true, and it strikes. Where do you hit it? Do you hit it like torso, head?
Just middle mass.
Yeah, middle mass. Okay.
Trying to like force it back.
Yeah.
Type of idea.
Rick's fist leaves a dent in the creature, and the armor gives way there. You can see sort of the muscles and organs underneath the exoskeleton of the creature as it begins to ooze everywhere. Leaves out another hiss and sort of lashes out, including trying to hit Rick. And that's a 6. So subtract whatever your armor is, and the rest comes out of your HP. The creature clings to life and starts to sort of sway from side to side in sort of like a daze. As you can see, it's sort of on its last legs. Ha ha ha. And continues to sort of swipe and howl. And before Rick decides who to pass the puck to, the other side of the cave wall bursts open, and a second a giant spider enters from the other way.
Really? You two? Can't you both just leave?
So
I see. Seconds.
It's the other 3 that are left, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna pass it on to the dude I was talking to. So, Godvin.
All right, over to you, Christian.
It is I.
So a fresh giant spider has entered the battle, and then a very injured, wounded one is still there, of course.
Fresh meat.
Yep.
I put my back toward as far away that I could see both of them, so that I put nobody behind me.
Right.
And I pull my bow, knock an arrow, and let fly.
Okay. Which one are you going for?
The one that's already been hit.
Okay. Roll volley, please. Okay. All right. So you deal your damage, and you choose one from the list.
How do I roll damage? Do I press the damage button?
First, you need to choose one from the list. Then you continue your damage.
Okay. I'll move to get to the shot to place myself in danger.
Okay. All right. So now go ahead and roll damage.
Oh.
Okay. I'm going to. Okay. You with Rick and Many already engaged with the creature at melee, You have a hard time finding a clear shot. You manage to let an arrow fly, and it sticks into one of the creature's legs, and it sort of thrashes about wildly at the sting of the shot. However, as you step forward, you manage to get in within striking distance of the other spider that has entered the domain, and he takes a swing at you. I get it. Oh, but I only got a 1. So that's 1 damage.
Fabulous.
Oh, but that's a crit fail, so you immediately die. Sorry.
Yeah, he explodes. So. All right, Godwin, please pass the puck.
That's going to go straight to Lionel.
Okay, Lionel. So we have a spider who has yet to be hit, who has just swiped at Godwin, and then one that is on death's door, engaged at melee range with Manny and Rick.
You're muted, Thomas.
I thank you. I did not realize I was muted. Lionel is also going to draw his bow, and I'm going to use a move called Blot Out the Sun. It's a class move. I can spend additional ammo to hit additional targets.
Oh, cool.
So it looks like I have to. I don't know if I have to roll to hit twice. The damage is applied to all targets, and I rolled that once. So whether I need to.
Oh yeah, so you do the volley move. So just roll once for volley, and then you roll once for damage.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is sort of like a modification of the volley move for you. Oh, but it's a miss.
But you get XP!
I'm rolling very poorly today already.
You do get to mark 1 XP.
Yay!
So I'm going to give you a choice, Thomas. Sort of like we did with Toss to Shore. If someone gets a miss, most often not, I'll let you pick your poison kind of thing. Okay, option number 1. Your arrow ricochets off of one of the cave walls and hits an ally. Option number 2, similar to Godwin, you miss your shot, but you put yourself in range of the other spider, and he tries to hit you. Well, he hits you, rather.
Yeah, I accidentally shot Rick. Oh wait, do I get to choose which ally or no?
No, I'm gonna roll for it.
All right, fine. I'll get hit.
Okay.
So one of. Oh, okay.
That's a 4. So subtract whatever armor you might have, and then subtract from your HP.
Okay.
So Lionel's arrow flies through the cave and soars over the creature and manages to hit the cave wall and sort of slides to the ground. The creature takes a swipe at Lionel as he does so. And by process of elimination, Rian, you are next up.
Wow.
Yes. Can I apply one of my poisons to an arrow and shoot it at a spider?
You may.
I would like to do that to the one that was attempted to get shot at and was not hurt yet.
So the healthy one, as it were.
One.
Okay. Please roll volley.
Really?
Right, rolled a 2. Okay. I'm going to give you the same option. Your arrow ricochets and hits an ally, which I will roll randomly, or the spider manages to get a hit on you.
I also have to reduce a use of my poison.
Whip.
Well, it's already poisoned. I want it to hit someone.
Okay.
I want to hit one of the party members.
Okay.
I guess it's a 1d4.
Yeah, I'm going to roll a d4. If I get a 1, you hit Manny. If I get a 2, you hit Rick. If I get a 3, you hit Lionel. I'm doing it in the order you guys acted in. So if you get a 3, you get hit Godwin. If you get a 4, you hit Lionel.
2. Oh.
It's Godwin.
Wow, wow.
Roll whatever die you would roll for damage, Richard.
I trusted you.
Okay. So, Godwin, you're hit for 3.
And then an additional 1d4 poison damage.
Yep.
Well, when it comes back to your action, yeah. Ouch. So Rian lets his arrow fly and ricochets off the ceiling of the cave and manages to strike Godvin in the side.
It is hard to see in here. Why am I using my bow in a cave?
Asking the real questions.
I don't want to get close to the spider. Well, I'll knock another arrow.
Yeah, so I was going to say it's the top of round 2. It's back to you, Godvin.
There's an arrow sticking out of him. This is going fine. This is fine.
This is fine.
This is battle, gentlemen.
Haven't you ever gotten shot with an arrow before? Come on.
There you go. Okay, so it's exactly what you rolled last time. So you're gonna choose one from the list, and then you can roll damage.
Okay. I'll do the take what I can get minus 1d6 damage.
Okay, so roll your damage, and then roll a d6 afterwards to subtract. Yeah. Which one are you going for? The injured one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got 6 damage, and then you need to roll a d6 to subtract.
Is it /R or R/?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
5. Okay.
Amazing.
You hit it in the
I
face.
think I'm getting it, boys.
You're a little addled by the poison.
Yes, exactly.
Also,
You're
speaking
probably,
of, you need to take poison damage.
you're a little yeah, so if you could roll 1d4, please.
Uh-huh. Whoops, it's
/R.
1d4, there we go.
That's the subreddit for 1d4. Okay.
I'm pretty sure there is one out there for that.
Getting big numbers, at least.
Yeah.
Not necessarily where you want them.
No. That's, so that's 3 damage to you.
Godvin is immediately visibly sweating a lot.
Right. Oh, yeah.
His eyes are a bit glassy immediately.
Right. Yeah, and you're probably a bit tipsy from the poison that you got through friendly fire. So the arrow hits one of the other creature's legs in one of the armored joints, and it sticks in, but with all the other injuries it's taken, it just kind of continues to thrash and hiss. So it can barely move at this point. Godvin, who
you must not kill Godvin yet. He still owes me money.
Who are you passing the puck to?
I'm passing it to my new friend, Rick.
Okay. So, Rick, you have one healthy spider that has yet to be injured, and you have one spider that is basically like a flick away from death.
Okay. I want to take the death spider, grab it, and throw it at the healthy spider.
Oh, okay. Throwing is still technically strength, I think.
Is that a volley? I think that is that. I was reading in the book something about throwing like objects, like weapons, as a volley roll.
Or can I punch it with my fist and then it becomes my fist and then I have a spider fist to attack people with?
No.
Damn it. I think you should let him do it this time.
No. I will let you attempt to throw the spider at the other spider, though.
Okay. What would I need to roll?
One day, Kirk.
You're doing like a judo throw. I think strength is fine. So roll hack. Do a hack and slash roll for me.
Hack and slash. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess a physical like judo throw is melee.
Yeah.
Hey.
Ooh.
Cool.
You choose to do plus 1d6 damage, but expose yourself to enemy's attack. Yes, I will choose to do that.
Okay. So Rick grabs the spider near death and sort of like judo flips him over him and whacks the other spider who's close enough to be hit by it. Wow, that's cool. Okay, so go ahead. So go ahead. Yeah. So the first spider who was dead goes squish, squish, squish. Guts and blood fly in every direction. And we'll see what kind of damage you deal to Mr. Second Spider.
So full damage?
Yeah, so your full damage plus
the 1d6. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll roll that. Shit. Plus 1d6.
Okay. That's
16 damage.
Wow. Okay. Pretty good.
Oops.
Beat them with
and
their own
that's
kind.
and that's with piercing too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see. You rolled a 10 on your D10. Yeah, and you got a 3 on the D4. Cool. Very nice.
Right.
Plus 1, plus the 2. Yeah, cool. 16. Yeah, so you bring the spider over with maybe more force than you had intended, or maybe exactly the amount of force you had intended. The spider that was near death completely pulps. Blood and guts fly and completely coat all of the walls and everyone in it. Everyone in this cave. Everyone is covered in giant spider guts. There's no avoiding that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Well, Rockman, not so bad.
The other one that's at a terrible screech as all of the near-death spider's legs have gone through the second spider at various points. So
Nice.
all 8 of the legs detached from the rest of the body as Rick pulped it, and all the legs have gone through the other spider, piercing it in various locations. The creature has gone from completely healthy and ready to kill to almost at death's door. And it lets out a terrible cry as 8 very sharp things have been stabbed into its back.
No, giant creature. You only have yourself to blame. I warned you.
The creature just lets out a monstrous hiss. Who are you passing the puck to?
So it was the 2 big brawly dudes so far.
No,
Right.
Godvin and you have acted.
Oh, okay. Then we'll pass to angry guy.
Okay. Angry guy. I'm assuming that's
Angry
me.
guy turn.
Oh.
I think we're all a little angry to be here.
Hmm.
No, I'm actually pretty chill. So
Fair enough.
you don't want to see Rick angry.
You won't like him when he's angry?
Yeah, he gets all his green rocks out.
Goes Jade. All right. Minnie turns to the basically dead spider, raises an eyebrow at it now that it's basically dead. Too easy. And brings his sword down, hoping to go through both of them. Both of the spiders at the same time. Subdivide them.
Good old King Solomon. Go for it.
Well, you'd have to kind of like stab yourself because the other spider's on you as well.
So, coated everywhere. Okay, so go ahead and deal your damage.
Alrighty. Sub.
Many makes a move.
Nope. Not much damage this time around.
But it's enough to completely slice the creature in twain. He gets one last desperate swipe at you as it dies. At reduced damage because he's debilitated. And I get a 4. So, even Steven hit there both ways. 4 damage both ways.
Alright, well, I will proc my indestructible hunger and ignore it.
Nice. And then the creature is completely split in twain, and the cave wall and everyone inside the cave is again coated in giant spider guts and blood. You are all very, very, very wet.
Ew.
and smelly.
Ew.
A little bit of action does with the appetite.
Except for Ylvis.
To all that we have.
Yeah,
Because
Ylvis
it's
is
not-
Spider
dodging,
geckos.
dancing between the raindrops, as it were. Speaking of Ylvis, I lean down and I say to him, "Go find those arrows that we lost. Also, be careful that you don't bite onto any of the ones that had poison on it. Although I think the only one of those is firmly buried in the lieutenant."
It gives you a little puff and then sort of darts away to get them.
Yeah, what
Godvin!
was that about?
And with that said, Nathaniel, can everyone who used ammunition get it back, or do we lose some?
No, in this case, nothing was destroyed. The only thing is one of the arrows is in Godvin's side.
So myself and Godvin can get our arrows back.
Haha.
Correct.
So.
Godvin,
You have an arrow in your Godvin.
Our bewitched beastie seems to be good at combat.
Yeah, and you do not.
Funny, I don't think I noticed this spineless shooting any arrows.
What was on that arrow, Rian?
Not to worry. I have a antidote. And he quickly pulls a couple things out of his bag and starts mixing some stuff. And drink this.
Lionel sidles over to Many, and he holds up, I don't know, like a coin or whatever. I bet that whatever that is kills him immediately when he drinks it.
No bet. I hope you're right.
I love these guys.
Oh.
Now, that may
It's
be
not
bad, but this will be worse. And he kind of yanks the arrow out of his bag as he's drinking it and finishing it.
It's all coming out his nose now.
Today you've seen blood. And he wipes it on his cloak and puts it back in his quiver.
Wasn't really looking for a shower today, but I guess
That's about
shower?
as close as we get to one as well.
Rick, you are, like many, quite strong.
okay.
That was
Like many? Like others?
Lionel points at Many.
That was a very impressive move.
That one is Many, the big angry one.
Yes, his name is Many.
Well, they needed to be put out of their misery as quickly as possible. I've been in this cave for a while, and they did not attack.
Perhaps they do not perceive you as a threat, or think you part of the cave itself. Or perhaps magical creatures do not attack their own kind.
I was going to say, without trying to offend, I should think that had we not been here, they wouldn't have had much reason to attack you. You are not what they would consider a morsel, I would imagine.
Godvin clutches his amulet and says, I do not think that Rick, his body is anything magical. But I do think, Rick, that you have a purpose for being here. And I think it lies with us. What say you accompany us to finish our mission, and then we'll bring you back to the camp?
That's, to speak frankly, not my choice. And then Rick looks to the others.
Godvin, I don't know how prudent it would be to take him back to the camp. If I might have permission to speak freely and candidly for a moment.
You're talking to me, so yes.
The actual commander of the camp does not have quite so broad a mind as anyone in this cave might allow.
Has a soft spot for me.
Right, this is not about you. I'm almost positive the commander would frown upon Rick, despite his charming nature.
All I need right now is for you all to trust me. Like you have before. Many, Rianne, Lionel, you've all trusted me, and look at you. You're alive and well.
And covered in spider guts. But never mind that.
No more alive than ever.
This Rick is an asset. I saw your abilities. Very impressive. I think we can square it with the commander. We are in a war after all. if you're willing to fight with us.
I guess on one condition.
Absolutely. Name it.
Clothing.
We'll get you clothing, Rick. We'll find something for you.
Nice.
And then you see Rick kind of bend down for a moment and kind of like touch one of the walls. And that's kind of my signal to the GM that I'm doing the rock meld thing.
Yep.
He's making pants out of stone.
Can't make my own clothes. No.
Clothes beam.
The clothes beam.
That's Piccolo's best underrated power ever.
Yeah.
The clothes beam.
Yeah. What is your intention?
To basically heal.
Yes. Understood.
Pick up some of that sweet, sweet stone.
Yum 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 yum.
Yeah. So yeah, based on how much damage you've taken, you can just heal fully. Yeah.
Sweet.
So.
Godman, may I have a word?
Yes, Rian. What is it?
And also, if they're paying attention, then yeah, they would see that happen.
Right.
I do.
Interesting.
believe-
You are very durable, Rockman. Sorry, Rick.
Thank you.
Rian, yes.
I do believe it is entirely possible. He was not cursed by a witch, but instead, he has been given to us by God.
Yes, that is my suspicion as well.
If
Like
we
many
tell
things,
that,
we are being given gifts.
we can tell this to the commander, and he may take it face value.
That's what I'm hoping.
I've
already thought of this. I've already thought of this, Rian. Trust in
I'm
me.
on your side.
Yes, I know that very well. You've
I
been
will
at my
back you
side
up.
for since I can remember, Rian.
I shall back you up if you need with the commander, I promise. But Rick may be a key to stopping the witches through the power of God.
I do think so. I do think so.
And I'm sorry for shooting you. If I do it again, I'll make sure I mix up another antidote.
Yes, do be careful where you fire those arrows next time. Well, shall we find our way out?
On that cue, Lionel, you notice that once Ylvis has returned your arrows to you, he has turned back towards the way you guys came in, and he's again got his ears back, and he's sniffing the ground. And after a few moments, he gives out a whimper. He's too well trained to leave without you, but he kind of looks at you and then looks back at the cave, like the way you guys came in. And kind of gives a.
Right. I think perhaps it is time to go. Ylvis doesn't seem to want to be in here any longer, and I trust his instincts on a very deep level.
Good. Then let's be off.
Weren't we going through the cave?
Did you happen to see, you came from the opposite direction of us. Was there an alternate path in that direction?
Well, we kind of did this with the buildings before, and kind of when I touch stone, I kind of also get a sense of the surrounding area in stone. So I'm wondering what kind of sensation I get. Is there another exit?
Very good. I'm glad you remembered that.
Of course I did. I'm Rick.
Nice. I would like you to roll discern realities, please.
Why don't they call it discern realities? That just sounds so freaking trippy.
It's it's a little pretentious, but whatever. They needed to trademark the moves or whatever.
Oh my goodness! All right, here we go.
Wow.
Who knows what we're going to need to
Good roll.
see in the midst of magic?
Got a 12. Damn. Okay.
So this will probably be happening when I'm touching, like
Yeah.
purposely touching it to heal.
Yep. Absolutely. Exactly. And you're like, I can feel the cave. It talks to me. Okay.
That was a
Yeah.
huge shaft. Wait.
You can ask 3 questions from the list here, and we can use context to modify them if necessary. So, for example, you could use like, "What here is useful or valuable to me?" to ask, like, "Is there a useful way we can go?" or whatever, right? So,
Is there an alternate path? Just like I asked.
yeah.
Is there another rock man in there somewhere?
Basically,
Is there another rock?
sort of like what should I be on the lookout for would be, is there an exit in the opposite direction that we came from?
Yeah. Okay, because you got a 12, I'm going to give you 2 factoids here, and you can decide what to tell the group. Number 1 is you recall when you first came out of your wall that there was another tunnel to your right. Right, you went down the left. The right went somewhere. You didn't go that direction. So if you circled back through the bat cave, we'll say, back towards where you started from and went the other way, that might lead somewhere new. And the other thing, again, because you got a 12, you get a sensation of pain, like the cave itself is hurting. And at first you think it's because the spiders have crashed through the wall, but there's something more profound. The cave's not in pain like ouch, it's like in pain like it's mourning something. Like it watched something tragic happen. So it perplexes you a little bit, but there's an aspect that the cave has seen something that has made it hurt.
Okay, so then that leads me to my second question. What happened here recently?
I was spiders.
You get a sense from the cave that all of the creatures in it have been perturbed as of late.
Figures, yeah.
Yeah. And something nearby has been aggravating them, although the cave does not know why or what, so neither do you. But it's recent. Everything's astir in the cave, and the cave doesn't like it. It liked it when the creatures were a little bit more passive. But they seem to be getting steered in some direction. And there seems to be activity and a lot more foot traffic and things stepping on it and walking through it.
Okay. Then I guess third question would be, who's really in control here?
Ooh.
Judging by recent events that has caused it to start suffering, what's been causing that suffering? Like, who's controlling? Like, who's the control behind it? Slash, are they in the cave?
Right. And the cave pauses, as it were. It's not really talking to you. It's just sort of a bond. And it thinks for a second and goes, "It's you."
Well, shit me sideways.
Meanwhile, Lionel, your heightened senses as a man of the woods has picked this up too. But Ylvis obviously picked it up a while ago. You are smelling the faint smell of smoke coming from the way you guys came.
From the way we came?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Gentlemen, I believe... Wait, sorry. Has Rick actually said if there was an alternate path yet?
No.
Allowed? No. Well, Rick, I should hope that there is an alternate path in that direction, because if my nose does not deceive, smells like perhaps there's fire behind us. Whether it be a sentry torch or a blaze to keep us from returning, I'm not sure.
We either should have beat that chef less or more.
There is another path.
We must take that path then.
But if we come across other creatures, think before you kill.
Always. I think I will look forward to killing. Come, let's go.
I assure you, my good man, I will not throw any more poisons at an opponent.
Would you kill that fox by your side?
Manny is already striding off.
It is not my fox to kill.
Do not speak ill of Ylvis. He is a kind fox.
He is truly the most competent member of this entire party, myself.
I am just saying.
This is true. The fox knows many things.
Do not kill the creatures unless necessary.
You are heard, friend.
You are clearly not from around here, Rick. Killing is often necessary. We waste time. Let's go.
Okay, and the march begins. The journey is fairly calm and contemplative. Perhaps you guys get a chance to speak some words here and there. Christian, I would very much like Godwin to make a Constitution roll for me, please.
Absolutely.
Just straight Constitution. 8. Okay. You have been, the poison has worked its way through your system. I hope I don't have to spell out how. But I would like you to take roll one more d4 worth of damage, please.
Oh. I see.
Antidotes don't work instantly, sorry, guy.
Yeah.
Gonna die, son.
1d4, you said?
Please. 1 damage.
Ooh.
Okay. And you are now officially cured of the poison.
Okay.
So.
Oh. I feel much better.
And anyways, I just wanted to clear that happened at some point during your journey and is hours and hours. So you took a chance to, let it pass, as it were. You eventually make it back to the bat cave, as it were. You see the creatures on the ceiling, and again the matron creature who's in the brook turns and hisses. But upon seeing Rick, the creature again sort of just cocks its head sideways and inquisitively, and it still hisses defensively because it's near its brood, but it doesn't advance like it did before. It just sort of sits in the brook in the middle of the cave, leaving you to circle it if you so desire. Can I also get a update on marching order at this point? Who's in front, who's behind, kind of thing?
Probably me would be in front.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Rian.
He's the one who said he knew what the route was.
Yeah.
I would say Rian likes to be right behind Godwin.
In this case, I think Lionel would take up the rear.
Okay.
Rear.
I'd be behind Manny, who would be behind Rick, and Rian would be behind me.
Yeah, and then Lionel in the back. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, Lionel, do you have Ylvis stay at your side, or do you have him slightly in front? Do you have him up at the front with Rick, or do you?
Not up at the. He would be slightly in front of me.
Okay.
Enough that if anything rushed us, there would be a barrier between him and the back of the pack, but not at the front.
Gotcha. Understood. So, puts a hand in Godwin's pocket. Roll a sleight of hand.
Although I suppose that's truly up to Ylvis.
Yeah. Okay. The march continues through the cave. Although the bat creatures are weird to Rick, none of you really bat an eye. You actually have seen these creatures before. They're pretty common in this area, actually. So
Weird bats.
So they're called Gladys, actually. All of you would know that. So
Weird Gladys robot.
So yeah, you might be, oh, there's some Gladys over there. Okay, whatever. And one of those creatures, like a moose, where the singular is and the plural are the same, is one Gladys, a brood of Gladys. So
Like
a group of them are called a gloom of Gladys.
Right.
Anyways,
like penguins.
Yeah.
One penguins, many penguins.
Wait.
1 moose, 2 meese, 3 mice.
Yeah. 1 goose, 2 goose a pie. So anyways, you march through the back cave back into the tunnels, and after several more hours of marching, you indeed come to the spot where Rick obviously burst out of the wall, and you can see like the outline of his shape.
What?
In the spot where he was. It's pretty inconspicuous. So
weird hole.
Amazing.
Do any of you comment as you pass by?
Home is where the hole is.
That's good enough.
The interesting thing that you notice, Rick, as you pass that, where you obviously sort of Kool-Aid manned out of the wall, is that the spot where you were is one of the few areas of this particular tunnel that isn't like wet and icky.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, there's sort of like an aura around that spot that's still dry.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because of my rock hard abs.
Clearly.
Probably what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's his time machine home. The march continues, and eventually you reach a cave mouth. Just as Rick, as you might have thought, Rick, you thought you heard water splashing on a cave mouth or something like that. So you come back out, and as each of you come out of the cave, you see that it is starting to like not rain, just kind of drizzle, like is like what I would call spitting, where it's like water's falling from the sky, but it's basically just like a dripping faucet. Dark clouds have blown in. So as you come out of this cave mouth, I want to make it clear, like you've obviously gone almost like around like a spiral staircase. So you've come out on the same side of the mountain that you were, but you're now much higher up. So you've gone up like a sloped sort of loop.
Gotcha.
So you've come out on the same mountainside, but you're like another couple of stories up from where you entered. And the incline here is much too steep to like slide back to where you were. But you're much higher up on the mountain, and you've gotten a better vantage point. You can see some trees and sporadic forests dotting the mountain range. You can sort of see a path, and I'm sure Lionel will be able to carve one out soon, that you could continue walking along this mountainside. But for the time being, all of you are drawn back in the direction that you came. And you now maybe understand Ylvis's whimpering. For from the direction of the camp, there is a tall billow of smoke. And it reaches up into the air. And some of you, maybe, the less militarily educated amongst you, might just think that it's a bonfire gone wrong or something's caught ablaze. But some of you know that this particular signal is a cry for help. The camp has been attacked. And we'll stop there for tonight.
Oh no!
Oof. Great.
I sure hope they finish giving the chef his lashings before the attack.
Oh no!
No, they only made it to 9.
No. They're gonna have to start all over again.
Yep, you know it.
Don't lose counts.
I'm so sorry, Jenkins.
I lost count.
We lost count. We're just gonna have to start at 1 again.
Start over.
Yeah.
Got distracted. These things happen.
Great
So-
opening session.
Yeah,
Phil.
great.
Yeah.
guys.
Hell,
Here we are
yeah,
back to
man.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to it for a
I was
while.
gonna say I've
Yeah.
missed this.
Yes.
Everyone's
Yeah.
bringing their A game today.
It's so good to get back in. I love all your characters. There were some really great moments there. Oh boy, that was great. Well, we're off to a wonderful start. I can't wait to share with you One Last March, episode 2. It's in the cards.
Looking forward to it.
The cards.
Until then.
Are we
See
playing
you
a children's
soon.
card game next time?
Uh-huh. How did you know?
Stay out of the Shadow Realm.
Bye.
All right.
Oh no.
So now, have a great evening, and we'll be back soon.
See you next week.
I don't know if you already signed off, but I'm signing off. Yay, bye.
We.
everyone.